A very good morning, dear students and sir. Welcome back, students, for the second session of the day, that is accounts today. So we'll be continuing the chapters which sir has started yet. So shall we begin, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you all doing? All good? Yes, I'm good too. Thank you. Yes. What chapter were we doing yesterday? I think we were doing consignment, right? We're almost done with consignment. There was one problem which I had to do in the class, and then there were 3 homework problems. Yes. Did you all try the homework problems? I'll just discuss the working notes in those homework problems. A couple of working notes I'll discuss. But I hope you've tried it. I hope you've tried it, right? Yes. And how are your preparations for other chapters going on? Did you finish? How many of you finished whatever we've done so far? Whatever chapters we've done so far, how many of you have come till here? How many chapters did we finish? We finished BRS, we finished rectification, we have finished the first theory chapter, we have finished what else? Depreciation, we have finished consignment now. So 5 chapters. I told you this is worth a lot of marks. Please be doing. If you're not doing the theory now, it's okay. Theory, of course, it's okay. But the other chapters, that is whatever we've done after that, please be doing it. Because, see, accounts is a subject wherein you have to score 70, 80 plus marks. There's no concession absolutely with regards to anything lesser. Don't accept anything lesser than that. So you have to concentrate here as much as possible to score great marks. Anything lesser is not acceptable. So that is why study this month. Spend a lot of time on descriptive papers, that is accounts and law if you've not yet done it. But ensure you're studying well for your exams, and just go with the flow, go with the crash course, go do whatever homework is given, do whatever is being asked, do from the study material, institute material if time permits, your class notes. Keep doing it along with this, and you will feel confident for your exams on time. Anyway, now let us continue our discussion quickly. All right, so we were in consignment. In consignment, I had already finished one account. That was this question number 3 we were discussing. So in question number 3, there was Naresh consigns 1,000 bahts. I'll just read the question once and then let us see how much we finished and how much is yet to be done. Yes. So Nilesh consigns 1,000 bahts costing 500 each to Swarup for sales and incurs rupees 4,000 towards freight and rupees 1,000 for insurance. Swarup was able to take delivery of 900 bahts only, and 100 bahts were destroyed in transit. Insurance company admitted a claim of rupees 42,000. I think we did the abnormal loss valuation for this 100 bahts which was lost. 100 bahts abnormal loss valuation, how to do it? How to do the abnormal loss valuation for the 100 bahts? We had to consider the cost of the bahts, and we had to add the direct expenses. Now, what are the direct expenses we had to add? What are the direct expenses we had to add? In this, there are consigners as well as consignees expenses. But should we add the consigners expenses? The answer is no. Consigners expenses not to be added. only the consignee's expense is not to be added, only the consignor's expenses is to be added. Now, consignor's expense was how much over here? The total consignor expense was 5,000 rupees. It is to be added proportionately 5,000 rupees into 100 bahts divided by 1,000. So that is proportionately how much you get it as 500 rupees. So the total value of loss was how much? 50,000 plus 500. 50,500 was the total loss. Then insurance company was had given some amount. Insurance company 42,000 rupees. That means 8,500 rupees is the net loss which is to be booked in the profit and loss account. Everyone is comfortable this so far? Yes. Then we discussed about commission 5%, ordinary commission 2%, delegate commission, and then you have also got over here the overriding commission, right? Overriding commission. What was the total commission we got over here? 29,800. Just remember the fact that here delegate commission has been paid. Delegate commission has been paid. Okay. Then Swaroop had spent 2,000 towards sales expenses. This is to be reimbursed. Selling expenses is to be paid back to him. The sales is as under 500 bahts at rupees 600 per baht each, 200 bahts at 700 baht each per baht each. So totally how many bahts were sold? 700 bahts were sold. So just calculation of inventory we did yesterday. 1,000 bahts minus 100 bahts lost minus 200 bahts, which are minus 700 bahts which are sold. So what is the closing stock? 200 bahts are in the closing stock. We did this yesterday, right? We had to value those 200 bahts. To value those 200 bahts, we considered the cost plus the direct expenses of the consignor. What is the total amount you got? What is the value of stock we got? 1,01,000 was the value of stock. Wonderful. Then after that we did here the invoice price was not there, so directly we wrote 1,01,000. Inventory reserve would not appear in the consignment account. Then consignment debtors paid. Okay, this is where we were discussing relating to debtors. Now there's bad debt amount. How much is the bad debt amount? I was telling you yesterday how many bahts. Okay, I'm so sorry. Where did this go? Okay, 2,800 rupees was the total value of sale, credit sale, out of which one debtor could pay only 800 rupees. That means how much is the bad debt amount? The amount of bad debtors is 2,000 rupees. 2,800 minus 800 rupees. That is 2,000 rupees is the amount of bad debt. Now we have to see whose expense this is. Can you tell me whose expense is this in this question? Is this the consignor's loss or is this the consignee's loss? Swaroop, the consignee. It is the Swaroop's loss, which is who is the consignee, so it is his loss. Wonderful. 2,000 rupees. So will we book it as a loss in the consignment account of the consignor? The answer is no. The answer is no, we will not book it over here. Okay, remember that. Then now we have to prepare the consignee's account. Consignee's account, did you prepare? What are the different things which will come in consignee's account? Here we will have first sales. How much is the sales to consignment? 4,40,000. Just tell me the amounts. We will keep on writing over here. 4,40,000. Then by consignment, his expenses. How much expenses did the consignee incur? 2,000. Then commission, right? Again by consignment. What is the commission amount? 29,800. Anything else? No. So balance carried down. Have they given that it was settled or something? No, right? It was not given in the question. So we will read by balance carried down 4,08,200. Everyone comfortable? Yes. Should I record the bad debts over here? Should I record the bad debts over here? No. Should I minus? See, bad debts will be recorded on the which side should we record? If I am incurring the bad debts, can you tell me which side should I record the bad debt? credit side of this account. I will write it on the credit side of this account. I will reduce the balance receivable. This is the amount receivable from this person, right? We will reduce it. We will credit it. Now, should I credit it? Should I minus it? The answer is no. I should not minus it for a very simple reason that Del credit commission has been paid. So Del credit commission has been paid. You paid an additional commission to take this bad debt. So again, you don't have to credit it. All right. Now we will do in the books of the consignee. Who is the consignee? What is the name of the consignee here in the books of Swaroop? First, we will drop the consigner's account. What is the name of the consigner? Niresh's account, right? So we will drop Niresh's account. Now let us see what are the entries we have to write over here. First, when I got the goods, I did not incur any expenses at the point of getting the goods. When the goods were received, no expenses were incurred. But I sold, right? I have to write over here by bank or by cash, whatever you can write. How much is the amount? What is the amount of sales? 4,40,000. There are two sales, right? One is cash sales, which is 3 lakh, and another sale is, you're saying 3 lakh. What is 4,40,000? What is 3 lakh? You're telling cash sales, right? Okay, by bank is 3 lakh. Cash sales is 3 lakh. How much is consignment debtors? How much is credit sales? 1,40,000 is the consignment debtors. Is everyone comfortable with this? How did I calculate this? 200 bahts into 700 rupees. Is that correct? Yes. So we got it as consignment debtors is 1,40,000. Then I have incurred some expenses. So let us debit it over here. It's not my expense. It's not my expense. I'm paying consigner's expenses to cash or bank. You can write anything. 2,000 rupees. Then commission. What should I write for commission? How should be commission recorded over here? To commission. We will book it as commission. This is the amount receivable from him. So how much is the commission? 29,800. 29,800. Can you tell me the balance in this account? What is the balance in this account? 4,08,200 to balance carried down. Is this debit balance or credit balance? This is credit balance of 4,08,200. This is payable amount. This is liability for Swaroop. I hope everyone have followed that. Now let us drop the consignment debtors also. Now in the consignment debtors account, first when we sell the goods, what is the entry we pass? Consignment debtors account debit to Niresh's account. Is that right? So to Niresh's account. How much is the sale amount? 1,40,000 is the credit sales. Now I have a question. What have they given about consignment debtors? Consignment debtors paid their debtors balance except one customer to whom 4 baths were sold at 2,800 could pay only 800 rupees. Can you tell me how much is the money received? How much is the money received? Out of 1,40,000, out of 1,40,000, how much money have we received? Out of 1,40,000, how much money have we received? Except for the 2,000 rupees, have we received everything else? Except for the 2,000 rupees, which is bad debt amount, have we received everything else? Yes. So 1,40,000 minus 2,000 rupees. How much do you get that as? 1,40,000 minus 2,000 rupees. It is 1,38,000. So what should I write over here? By bank account. By bank account, 1,38,000. This is the amount received. How did I get this amount, sir? They told that out of 1,40,000, except for the 2,000 rupees, except for 2,000 rupees, we have received everything else. So that is 1,38,000 is the amount that we have received. I hope you have understood this. If you have understood what is the bad debt amount, this is very easy to calculate. Now, can you tell me how much is the amount of bad debt? 2000 rupees is the amount of bad debt. What should we do about the bad debt? Choose the debtors. Should we reduce the debtors? Yes, we have to credit it. Which account is which account is to be debited? I have to credit consignment debtors because reduction in asset, it is a loss we're not going to receive. You can either credit debit bad debts or we can debit directly. We will debit directly the commission account. I told you which account to debit. Directly we will debit the commission account. Are you all following? Yes or no? Yes. So which account will be debit? By commission account. We will write over here. Do we open del creditor commission account and all? No, we don't debit. We don't open del creditor commission and all that. So it is all in the commission account itself. So we will directly debit that account. Sir, what happens if I debit bad debts? Yes, it's okay. What happens if I debit bad debts? Again, one additional entry is to be passed. Instead of doing that, you can pass directly to the commission. Bad debts is closed through the commission account over here. So my advice would be do it through the commission account at this point of time. Okay. Now, let us do the commission account. How will the commission account look? What is the entry for commission receivable? I have to credit this, right? By Niresh's account. How much is the commission? 29,800. Now, is there any entry over here? Any other entry over here? Yes. What is the other entry over here? For debtors, for consignment debtors, that bad debt amount is to be written over here, which is 2,000 rupees. So what is the net balance over here in this account? This is transferred to profit and loss account of the consignee. It is income for him. It will go to the credit side of the profit and loss account. He will write over there by commission on consignment. So he will write over there. So this will go to the credit side of the profit and loss account, 27,800. Can you tell me what if del creditor commission was not paid? If del creditor commission was not paid, how much would be the balance in this account, which will be transferred? 29,800. The whole amount would have been transferred to the profit and loss account. Okay. Why, sir, the whole amount will be considered to the profit and loss account? Because it is not his loss. He will not reduce this commission with that 2,000 rupees of bad debts. So he will transfer the whole 29,800 to the profit and loss account because it is consignor's risk. In such cases, it is consignor's risk. The consignor's profit will be lesser by 2,000. Someone has to bear that loss, no? So his profit will be 52,700. Did you understand this? It will have 52,700 if del creditor commission was not paid. So that's it, guys. That is about bad debt. Very simple. I hope you followed it. I hope you've got the clarity relating to these things. Now, in this problem, this is a very simple problem. This had come for exams for 10 marks. This question had come May 2018, I think. So easy problem. Only thing is, here you have two types of stock. Valuation of inventory I will quickly do for you. Can you help me? You have to help me do the valuation of inventory. Okay. Now look at this question. Is everyone with me? Yes. So I'll read the question quickly. Let's see what is the question about. Sri Ganpat of Nagpur consigns 500 cases of goods costing 1,500 each to Rawat of Jaipur. Sri Ganpat pays the following expenses in connection with the consignment. Is there invoice price? Have they mentioned anything relating to invoice price? The answer is no. There's no invoice price. It is everything at cost. So even in the consignment account, it will come goods sent on consignment will come at cost itself. Then they have given carriage, freight, loading charges. Total is how much? How much is the total expenses you get? This is 75,000. Yes, 75,000 is the total expense. Sri Rawat sells 350 cases at 2,100 per case and incurs the following expenses. Clearing charges is given, warehousing and storage charges is given, packing and selling expenses given. Could someone tell me what is the expense that I have to consider while I value inventory. While I value inventory, what are the expenses I have to consider over here? Direct related expenses. What are those? Consigners, all expenses is to be considered. What about the consignee? Out of the consignees, what expenses should I consider? Only clearing charges is to be considered. Remember this, only clearing charges is to be considered because this is directly linked, this is directly related to the units. So only clearing charges, that is dependent on number of units. So that is why we consider only clearing charges. Warehousing and storage charges are considered fixed. It is fixed. Sir, what about packing and selling? This is selling expenses. Have you incurred this on unsold goods? Have you incurred this on goods which are lying in your inventory? The answer is no, sir. So that is why, should you apportion the 7,000? No, sir. This is selling expenses. At the point of selling it, I told you yesterday, when you buy something, they put it in a bag, they put it in a packet and give it to you. So that is additional packing. That is at the point of sale. That is not incurred at the on inventory it is not incurred, it is incurred on the goods sold. So that is why when we calculate the value of inventory, we should not consider that particular expense. Okay, now look at this. It is found that 50 cases were lost in transit and 50 cases were in transit. So there are two types of stock over here. Number one, stock in lost in transit. Sorry. First, we will value the abnormal loss. I'm sure you've done this, but I'll still do it. Valuation of abnormal loss. What is the valuation? First, what should we consider for valuation? We have to consider the cost, right? How many units were lost? Units lost is equal to 50 units. 50 units. First, we will consider the cost of those units. 50 units into, how much is the cost per unit? 1,500 per unit. So that is equal to 75,000 rupees. Add. I have to add expenses, proportionate expenses. What proportionate expenses should I add? Only consignor's expenses, because this was lost in transit. The consignee hasn't paid anything, so only consignor's expenses to be added because it is still in transit. Can you tell me how much is the consignor's expense? 75,000 was the total. Into how many units did we lose? How many units did we lose? 50 units. Divided by how many units were sent? 500. Now this 75,000 rupees was incurred by the consignor on how many units? Did he incur this on 450 units or did he incur this on 500 units, 600, 700, 800? How many units did he incur this on? He incurred these expenses on the units sent by him. On the units sent by him. When he is incurring, the consignor is incurring these goods, like for these costs. For example, carrying the goods from the godown to the truck, freight charges. This is all linked to the goods that is loading. How many goods did he load? He loaded 500 units. Is it not? He loaded 500 units. So this is to be apportioned on the basis of 500 units. Don't make this mistake of apportioning it on 450 units. No, you have to apportion it for 500 units. How much do you get this as? Is it 7,500? Yes. So what would be the total amount of loss? 82,500. Is there insurance coverage? Is there insurance coverage? No. So what will we do? What will we do in the consignment account? In the consignment account, everything will be transferred to P&L account. Okay. By P&L account, you will write transfer to P&L account. Someone asked me, sir, why didn't you consider the clearing charges of the consignee? Because has he spent the clearing charges in transit when you're valuing loss of goods in transit? I told you yesterday also, you should not consider the consignee's expenses, only consignor's expenses is to be considered because it hasn't reached the consignee yet. So that is why, how will consignee, clear the goods which he has not received? He's not received at all. So only the consignor's expenses to be considered. Working note 2, valuation of stock. Now I want some numbers. Could you please help me with some numbers? First, yes, 50 cases were lost in transit, Manoj. First, how many units were sent? Could someone tell me how many units were sent? 500. Out of them, how many units were sold? 350. 350 units were sold. That means how many units are still lying in the stock? Is it 150? No, sir. Sir, you have to look at these sentences also. How many units are in stock to calculate this? Let's calculate it. First, units in stock of the consignee. That means in his go down, how many units are there? We have to calculate. Units sent. How many units were sent? 500 units were sent. In this, units lost in transit. How many units were lost in transit? 50 units were lost in transit. Then, what has happened? Units still in transit. How many are still in transit? Units still in transit is 50 units. How many units were sold? Units sold. How many units were sold by him? 350 units. So how many units does he have in his go down? Still in transit means still on the way. It's on the way. How many units are still in the go down, Aman, in the go down of the consignee? Sir, what do you mean by in transit, sir? See, now when I send goods from here to, let us say, some place, let's say Sirsi, I send some goods to Manoj. Now, what might happen is, Manoj, some have sent 500 units to you. Out of these 500 units, 50 units haven't reached you yet because it is still in the lorry, it is still in transit. For some reason, the lorry hasn't reached you. There's some delay in the lorry reaching you, 50 units. So that is still in transit. We call it as still in transit. Can you tell me how many units are in the go down? 50 units. Now here there are two types of stock of the consignor. One is the stock in the consignee's go down. That is one type of stock. And the second type of stock that he has is which is still in transit. That is also his units only. The one in the lorry which hasn't reached the consignee. Whose goods are those? Who should record it as closing stock? It should be consignor only. The consignor only has to record it as his closing stock. Are you all getting this? Are you all finding this comfortable? Yes or no? Yes. So this is to be considered as stock itself of the consignor. So now when I'm talking about inventory, there are two types of inventory over here. I'll just draw a chart for our understanding. There are two types of inventory over here. Number one, in consignees go down, which is we just found out 50 unit. And one more is still in transit. That is still in the transportation. So now first we have to value the goods in the consignees go down. Shall we? Now when we value the consignees go down goods, what and all should be considered? First we have to consider the cost. 50 units, right? 50 units is still in the consignees. I mean, it is in the consignees go down. So we will write over here 50 units. In transit, how many units are there? This is also 50 units. This is also 50 units. Now, first in the what is there in the consignees go down, shall we value that? Cost 50 units into 1500 is equal to 75,000. All right. Should you apportion consignor's expenses? Now this is very important. This is where everyone make mistakes. Should I apportion consignor's expenses? Yes, sir. We have to apportion the consignor's expenses. We will do that. How much is the total consignor's expenses? 75,000 into. Now this is important. What is the denominator? How many units did he spend this on? He spent this on 500 units. The consignor spent it on 500 units. How many units should we apportion it to now? 50 units, right? So the numerator will be 50. Did you follow this? Did everyone follow this? Yes. So 7,500 is the consigner's expense. Can you tell me what is the total? Should I assign consignee's expenses for this? Yes, sir. We have to apportion consignee's expenses. Why, sir? Why should we apportion the consignee's expenses as well for this? Because the consignee has received the goods. Unlike that abnormal loss in transit, here he has actually received the goods. This is in the go down of the consignee. So that is why he has incurred some expenses on these goods also. Can we see what are the expenses directly relating to these goods that he has incurred? Only clearing charges, right? Only clearing charges. How much is the clearing charges? 18,000 rupees. I told you that is the direct expense. Now this is where people do mistake. Can you tell me 18,000? I want answers, maximum answers. Even if it's wrong, it's okay. 18,000 clearing charges were spent on how many units? How many units did we spend this clearing charges on? What is the denominator going to be? I've got three types of answers. Okay, I'll tell you what are the three types of answers. Someone told me 500, very rare answer. Most popular answer is 400. And there is one more answer where they say 350. Which one is correct? I've got three types of answers from students. Okay, there's one more answer. Someone told 450 also now. Every permutation and combination. Okay. Which one is correct out of this? Okay, let's understand very practically. Let's not, stick to theory alone. I'll tell you what has happened. You decide what is the correct answer out of these four. The consignor sent 500 units to the consignee. In transit, 50 units were lost. 50 units are still in transit. How many units did the consignee receive? 400 units. So, the clearing charges were paid on how many units? 400 units. Okay, it was paid on how many units? 400 units. Always remember, yesterday also I told you when I discussed the concept, I told you that we should always consider the consignee's expenses, total units received. How many units did he receive? That is to be considered for calculation for apportionment of the consignee's expenses, be it for abnormal loss in the go down or be it stock in the go down valuation. For everything we have to consider the total units received by the consignee, because that is what he's incurred on those goods only he's incurred this 18,000 rupees. So we have to consider this. Did you understand this? So in this case, how many units did we receive actually? 400 units. You can write in the brackets. So 400, this is, how many units should we assign it to? 50 units, right? Yes. You can write over here, goods received or units received by the consignee, that is 500 units minus 100 units lost, 50 units lost in transit minus 50 units still in transit. I hope everyone is comfortable with this. Yes. How much is the expenditure? How much is this then? Apportion this and tell me. 2,250. Okay. What is the total value of inventory? 75,000 plus 7,500 plus 2,250. 84,750. 84,750. Okay. Can we apportion? Can we find out the stock in transit value? Has anyone got doubts relating to this? Has anyone got questions relating to this? No? Sure? Yes. Okay. Now, let's value this in transit. How to value this, sir, in transit? What is the cost? First cost. How much is the cost? 50 units into 1,500, 75,000 again. Consignor's expenses, please add consignor's expenses. How much is the consignor's expenses apportionment? 75,000 into 50 by 500. 7,500. Should I assign consignee's expense for this? No. Why, sir? Why shouldn't I assign consignee's expenses? Because the consignee hasn't received the goods. So what is the value of this inventory? 82,500. Consignee's expense is not to be assigned or apportioned because the consignee hasn't received these goods. It hasn't reached the consignee yet. It is still in transit. It is still in the truck. Can you tell me what is the total value of inventory? Value of inventory is equal to 1,67,250. Understood, right? That's all. It's easy. You just have to look at it once carefully. Commission is directly 10% on sales. I don't think that is an issue. What is the sales amount? Sales amount is 2,100 into 350 cases or 350 cases, correct? 7,35,000 is the 7,35,000 into 10% is the commission. So 73,500 is the commission, right? Okay. What is the net profit you've got at the end of this answer? 36,250 is the profit you have to get at the end of this answer. The total value of inventory is 1,67,250. Keshav. The profit is 36,250 after all the adjustments. Okay, question number 5 was also homework. 350 units he sold. Okay, question number 5 was homework. This was in this the trick point is that commission part. Okay, the calculation of commission, it's a little different. I did not discuss this in the class during the crash course, so we will discuss this now and we will close this. Only the commission part I will discuss over here. I think everything else is manageable, right? Only the commission part is to be discussed. I'll read the question once. Mr. A of Assam sent on 18th February 2017 a consignment of 1,000 DVD players to B of Bengal, costing rupees 200 each. Expenses of 3,000 were met by the consignor. B spent rupees 6,000 for clearance and selling expense were 40 per DVD player. B sold on 15th March 2017 600 DVD players at rupees 320 per DVD and DVD player, and again on 20th May 2018 300 DVD players were sold at rupees 340 each. Can you tell me how many DVD players has he sold in total? 600 plus 300 DVD players, that is equal to 900 DVD players is what he is sold. B is entitled to a commission of 50 per DVD player sold. Okay, so this is, I'm going to calculate the commission, calculation of commission. Now please pay attention, this is a little unique. We have not discussed this in the class, so please be here. Now here what they have told us, and mark this question important, they have not asked anything like this so far. For your exams it's possible they may ask a commission calculation, a little twisted commission calculation this is. So there's a chance of this appearing in your exams. Okay, so B is entitled to a commission of 50 per DVD players sold. How many DVD players were sold? 900 you told me. So this is ordinary commission. Okay, what we call this as, this is ordinary commission. How much is the ordinary commission? How much is the ordinary commission? 900 DVD players into 50 rupees per DVD player, that is equal to 45,000 rupees. Wonderful. That's equal to 45,000 rupees. This is ordinary commission. Then what have they told? They have told me that plus 1/4 of amount by which the gross sale proceeds less total commission thereon exceeded a sum calculated at rupees 50 per DVD player sold. I will tell a sentence. You should tell me what we call it in common parlance. Okay, we have discussed it yesterday. Actual sales or gross sales over and above sale at SSP. Gross sale minus sales at SSP. What is this known as? Gross sale in excess of sale at SSP. I gave it a name yesterday, right? What was that name we gave yesterday? We called it as surplus. It is surplus. Now here they're not exactly saying gross sale over sale at SSP. This is not what they're saying, but there is one sentence like that. I'll read what they have said again. Sold plus 1/4 of the amount by which the gross sale proceeds less total commission thereon exceeded a sum calculated at 250 per DVD player sold. Can you tell me what is this 250 rupees over here? What is this 250 rupees over here? This is nothing but SSP. Okay, this is SSP. So they are telling that you will get additional commission. What is this commission called as? 1/4 of the amount by which the gross sale proceeds less total commission thereon exceeded a sum of at 250 per DVD. What is this known as? This is overriding commission, right? This is known as overriding commission. Now, all they are telling is, all they are telling me is, boss, when you're calculating overriding commission, generally what do you calculate? Generally, how do you write the formula? We write the formula as percentage on surplus, right? Percentage on surplus. What is the percentage on surplus over here? 1/4 on surplus, we say. But here they are saying it is not directly 1/4. 1/4 is how much? 25%. Is 1/4 25%? 1/4 means 25%, right? Okay. So it is not directly 25% on surplus. Gross sales minus commission, total commission, then over and above sales at SSP. This is all. This is all they are saying. Generally, this won't come. Generally, we wouldn't write this. This total commission point wouldn't have appeared. But here they have mentioned that, sir, 1/4 of amount by which the gross sale proceeds less total commission. So not gross sale proceeds directly, it is gross sale proceeds minus commission. Gross sale proceeds minus commission exceeded, that is in excess of sales at 250 rupees per DVD player. Are you all comfortable? So here what they are saying, overriding commission is nothing but 1/4 of gross sale minus total commission minus sales at SSP. Minus sale at SSP. Sir, is this 250 rupees invoice price? Is this called as invoice price? No, sir. It is just mentioned for calculation of commission. He's not mentioned that it was mentioned in the invoice. It is not invoice price. It is just for specified selling price was mentioned. It is for calculation of commission purposes only. We consider 250 rupees. Comfortable or not? Yes. So this much. So we have to calculate this. Now you can call this as variable commission also, and you can call this as fixed commission also, right? Okay. Now let us calculate. There are some textbooks which call this as variable commission. There are some textbooks which call this as overriding commission. You can call it as overriding commission also. Exceeded, they have said exceeded a sum calculated. Exceeded means you have to minus and you have to find that excess. Exceeded, minus. That's why we have to deduct. Okay. Now, let us write overriding commission. Whatever numbers we have, shall we write? overriding commission is equal to 1 by 4 of gross sale. How much is gross sale, guys? Calculate gross sale for me and tell me. 600 DVD plays into 320 rupees. 300 DVD plays into 340 rupees. How much is the gross sale amount you get? 2,94,000. Is that correct? So gross sale is equal to, I'll just write that gross sale calculation once. Here only. Gross sale is equal to, you must have done it in the consignment account, you write gross sale. So you find it over there. But I haven't done the consignment account, so I will write it over here. Is this right? The numbers I've written is correct, no? $2,94,000. So gross sale is 2,94,000, sir. Sir, what is total commission? Do we know what is total commission? No, sir. We have to calculate what is total commission. Total commission is nothing but ordinary commission plus overriding commission. So I don't have the total commission as it is. So I will write it TC minus sales at SSP. How many units were sold? 900 units were sold. What is the SSP? What is the price mentioned in the question? 250. He was asked to sell at 250. So that will be the sales at SSP. Are you all comfortable so far? Yes. Now, to simplify this, I will get something like this. Overriding commission is equal to 2,94,000 minus 2,25,000 minus TC. Okay. So what is this? Can you simplify this? Overriding commission 69,000 is it? Minus TC. Now, what is TC, sir? We don't know what is TC. We don't know what is TC. But can you tell me what is the formula for total commission? How do we calculate total commission? Ordinary commission plus dedicated commission plus overriding commission. Yes or no? That is total commission every time we calculate. So it is ordinary commission plus dedicated commission plus overriding commission. In this, there is only two types of, we'll write total commission here. There are only two types of commission in this question. What are the two types of commission in this question? Ordinary commission and overriding commission. Ordinary commission and overriding commission. Dedicated commission has not been given in the question. So, can you tell me what is the ordinary commission? We have already calculated ordinary commission. Please write that. 45,000 rupees is the ordinary commission. What is overriding commission? Sir, I don't know, but I've got an equation. I'll just write that equation over here. 1 by 4 into 69,000 minus total commission. This is the formula. Did you understand this? I just adopted it. Now let us consider TC as X. You can proceed with TC as TC only, but if you want, you can adopt X. So X is equal to 45,000 plus, what is 1/4 of 69,000? 17,250 minus into plus is minus. 1/4 TC means what? It's 0.25 TC. You can still continue with 1/4 only. It's X, 0.25 X. TC has become X, right? So X is equal to, I'll get the 0.25 X on the other end. So it becomes plus, and here it will be 62,250. Is that correct? 62,250. Yes. 1.25 X is equal to 62,250. What is X? 49,800. 49,800. This one commission calculation is important for our exams. For the November 2020 exams, I find it very important. Please study it properly and go. If you do not understand the logic or something, you can just memorize it and go, because it's very important. Do not skip this. It's very important. Please study it. It's easy, right? It has sense in that. It makes sense. It is equation forming. That's all. You just have to form a simple equation, which is this. And then you have to remember that the total commission formula is to be put, and we have to find out the X value. It's very easy. It's very simple. Just needs practice. Do it a couple of times. You will be fine with it. Now, can you tell me what is the overriding commission? Total commission you've got as, you don't need it. You don't need to find out the overriding commission, but just for cross verification, can we do it? The total commission is 49,800. What was the ordinary commission? What was the ordinary commission? 45,000. That means 4,800 is what? Overriding commission. Okay, 4,800 is overriding commission. Now I have a question. Can you adapt this and find out is it correct or not in this number only? 1 by 4. Here we have, right? 29,400 minus, sorry, 2,94,000 minus TC, or directly you can adopt here, sorry. 1/4, 69,000 minus TC. What is TC? 49,800 is TC. So what do you get? What is the answer you get? This is, I think, 20,000, right? No, 19,200. 19,200 into 1 by 4. 19,200 into 1 by 4. Is it 4,800? Yes, sir. It is 4,800. That means our answer is correct. I hope you have understood this. Now, quickly, how much is the stock? What is the stock? How many stocks are lying in the godown? Is something in transit? 100 units is the stock. 100 units is the stock. How to value this 100 units now? Should we consider the cost? What is the cost? 200 into 100 is the cost. That is equal to 20,000 rupees plus consignor's expenses. 3,000 rupees consignor's expenses be spent. Consignor's expenses should I consider? There are two types of consignor's expenses over here. 6,000 for clearance and 40 for selling expenses. Rupees 40 per DVD for selling expenses. Could you please tell me which should I consider over here? I should consider only clearing charges proportionately. What is the proportion? How to calculate this? Okay, we will calculate the stock quickly. Valuation of stock. Valuation of inventory. I will do it for you. Units in stock is equal to nothing in transport. Nothing in transport. 1,000 units were sent. 1,000 units were sent. In 1,000 units now, how many units were sold? 900 units were sold. So 100 units is lying in the godown of the consignee. Cost of those 100 units is equal to 100 units into 200 rupees, which is 20,000. And consignor's expenses is to be added. Consignor's expenses are how much? 3,000 rupees is the consignor's expense. So 3,000. This was spent on how many units? First write the denominator. How many units did he spend this on? 1,000 units, right? 100. So that is equal to 300 rupees. Should I add consignee's expenses? Yes, sir. Consignee's expenses. Which one? Which one? Only clearing charges is to be considered. What is clearing charges? How much is the clearing charges? 6,000 rupees. How many units did he spend on? How many units did he receive? How many units did the consignee receive? He received all of 1,000 units. Yes or no? He received all of 1,000 units. So this will be a portion for 1,000 units as well. Proportionately for 100, 600. What is the value of the stock then? 20,900 is the value of the stock. What is the end answer? What is the profit or loss? The profit is 20,100. What is the settlement? B's account. What is the balance? Amount due. How much did he send through bank? Did you drop the consignee's account? Is it 2,02,200? You did not. This was homework. You should have done it. No. 2,02,200. Profit is 20,100. Which part of commission calculation? Okay. Okay, can you tell me what is the sale amount? Total sales, how much is total sales? How much is total sales? 2,94,000 is total sales. From this, I'm calculating the settlement amount, okay? From this minus commission, how much is the commission? I'll just drop the consignee's account quickly. Sales will come here to consignment. That is, we have already calculated it. 2,94,000 is the total sales. Can you tell me how much is the expenses that we have to reimburse to him? Towards clearing charges. How much is clearing charges? 6,000. I'll write it separately. Then selling expenses. How much is the selling expenses? Per DVD sold. Per DVD sold, how much did we pay? 40 rupees. So 40 rupees into how many DVDs were sold? 900 DVDs were sold. That is 36,000 rupees. Is this correct? What is his commission? We have calculated his commission as well. What is his commission? 49,800. So, how much is the balance in this account? 2,02,200. This is by bank. He's paying the amount, so by bank. They have asked us to, it's okay if you do it together or if you write it separately. These two, right, you're talking about. It's okay if you write it together also. Say yes. 2,02,200. Did you follow this? Yes. Next question. Is there anything interesting about this question? Okay, this was the exam question. This is also interesting. This was November 2019 exam question. Less chances of coming for your exams, but still it has come recently. So I will read the question and I'll tell you what the trick point is. Here, there is only one trick point which we have to be careful about. So please be with me. It's an interesting question. It's a very interesting question. Shall we read the question? I'm letting you do the consignment account and the consignee's account. I'm not doing that, okay? For both the problems I did not do, that is homework. That I think you can do, right? We're valuing the stock, we're calculating the commission. So only the consignment account you have to do, which you can do. Okay, question number 6. Ajay of Mumbai consigned to Vijay of Delhi goods to be sold at invoice price, which represents 125% of the cost. Vijay is entitled to a commission of 10% on sales at invoice price and 25% of any excess realized over invoice price. Can you tell me how many types of commission is Vijay going to get? 2 types of commission Vijay is going to get. What are the 2 types of commission he is going to get over here? Ordinary commission and overriding commission. Wonderful. The expenses on freight and insurance incurred by Ajay were rupees 10,000. The account sales received by Ajay shows that Vijay has effected sales amounting to rupees 1 lakh in respect of 75% of the consignment. Now see this, I have a question over here. They have given the first pointers saying that Ajay of Mumbai consigned to Vijay of Delhi goods to be sold at invoice price, which represents 125% of the cost. So have we sent it at invoice price? Yes, sir. We have sent it at invoice price. We have added some loading to the cost and we have sent it at invoice price. Can you tell me how much is the loading over here? 125% of cost means 25% of cost is loading. 25% of cost is loading. Now the problem is, have they mentioned the cost of the goods sent on consignment? Have they mentioned the cost of the goods sent on consignment so far? No. Have they mentioned the invoice price of the goods sent on consignment? No. They have not mentioned both. They have not mentioned the cost of the goods sent on consignment. Neither they have mentioned the invoice price of the goods sent on consignment. Rather, what have they said over here is, we have to find out now what is the cost. We need it, right? We need invoice price and we need the cost price also relating to these goods. So we have to look for clues. We have to look for clues. Next sentence is Vijay is entitled to a commission. It's about commission. There is no clue over there. The expenses and freight and insurance incurred by Ajay were rupees 10,000. No clue over here also. The account sales received by Ajay shows that Vijay has affected sales amounting to 1 lakh in respect of 75% of the consignment. Is there a clue over here? Do you think there is a clue over here? No, sir. There is still no clue about the invoice price of the goods, nor the cost price of the goods. There's still no clue. Why, sir? Why are you saying this? They have mentioned 75% of the consignment was sold. This is sales price. This is not invoice price. Are you with me? This is different. This is what is actually selling the goods yet. He's selling the goods. He's selling these goods at this price, 1 lakh rupees. This is the actual price or actual sales price of those goods. It is not the invoice price of the goods. I hope everyone is comfortable with this. So this is not giving us any clue. This is not giving us any clue. Shall we move on and start looking for clue again? Yes, sir. His selling expenses to be reimbursed were 8,000 rupees. No clue. 10% of the consignment goods of the value of 12,500 were destroyed in fire at the Delhi godown, and the insurance company paid 9,000 net of salvage. Now is there a clue? Yes, sir. Now he had sent me an account sales. In that account sales, he mentioned this: 10% of the invoice value of the goods was lost in the go down. He has mentioned this. Okay, so 10% of the consignment goods of value is given. How much is the 10% of the goods? It is 12,500. Can you find what is the total invoice price of the goods now? 10% of the total goods is 12,500. What is 100%? You have to calculate. How much is the total invoice price of the goods sent on consignment? It is 1,25,000. Very good. It is 1,25,000. Vijay remitted the balance in favor of Ajay. Okay, then prepare consignment account. So if invoice price is 1,25,000, can you tell me what is the cost price of the goods? We have to calculate. So we will write some notes over here. Calculation of working note 1. You can have separate working notes for each one of these. We'll have one. Calculation of invoice value of goods sent on consignment. Invoice value of goods sent on consignment. In the question, the invoice price or the cost of the goods sent on consignment is not directly given. Is not directly given. However, it is mentioned that 10% of the value of consignment goods was lost. The value was 12,500 rupees. Therefore, invoice value of goods sent on consignment is, how to calculate this? If 10% is 12,500, how much is 100%? We get this as 1,25,000. So invoice price or invoice value of goods sent on consignment is 1,25,000. Have you followed this? Yes. Now we have to calculate the cost of the goods sent on consignment. Cost of goods sent on consignment. How to do this, sir? What have they said? They have said goods sent on consignment was, or rather we will write like this, invoice price of goods sent on consignment was 125% of cost. Is this what they have said? 125% of cost. Cost is how much? 100. 100% or just 100 we can write. 125 and 100. Do I have the invoice price of the goods? Have I calculated the invoice price of the goods? Yes, sir. How much was the invoice price of the goods? 1,25,000. So can you tell me the cost of those goods? The cost of the goods is 1 lakh. How much is the amount of loading then? What is loading? How much is loading? 1,25,000 minus 1 lakh. 1,25,000 minus 1 lakh. So if you're able to calculate this much, half of the problem is done. Now the rest is just calculation of commission as a point. Apart from that, everything else can be done. So can we calculate commission next? What have they told about the commission? No, it's not. It's not plus 125%. It is 125% of cost. 1 lakh into 125% you do. Loading is 25, not 125. Okay. Which last line, Shashank? This one. Now, let's look at the commission. What have they told about commission? Let's focus on commission now. Vijay is entitled to a commission of 10% on sales. So ordinary commission is 10% on sales at invoice price. Okay, 10% on sales at invoice price. Can you tell me what is the sales at invoice price amount? They have told that he had sold 1 lakh for 1 lakh. Actual sales amount is 1 lakh in respect to 75% of the consignment. Can you tell me what is the total? Okay, I'll ask you some questions. You have to answer. What is the total value of invoice value of goods sent on consignment? What is invoice value of goods sent on consignment? Total 1,25,000. Is that correct? 1,25,000. How much percentage of it is sold? How much percentage of it is sold? 75%. That means what is the invoice price of the goods sent on consignment which is sold? What is the invoice price of the goods sold? 1,25,000 into 75%. That is sales at invoice price. Sales at invoice price is how much, sir? 93,750, which is nothing but 1,25,000 into 75%. Did you follow this? Did you follow this? 1,25,000 into 75%. So first we will write this. This is working note 2. Calculation of commission. Calculation of commission. Here we have two types of commission. First I will write ordinary commission. What have they told about ordinary commission, sir? Ordinary commission, they mentioned that it is 10%, 5%. How much is it? 10% on sales at invoice price. 10% on sales at invoice price. Just for your understanding, I'm writing total invoice price of goods sent on consignment is 1,25,000. We have done this above. Here in the working note 1 we have done it. Therefore sales at invoice prices 1,25,000 into 75%, which is 93,750. Ordinary commission is 10% on 93,750, which is equal to 9,375. Is that correct? 9,375. Okay. Now ordinary commission is done. Overriding commission is also there. Correct? No, they have mentioned about overriding commission also. Shall we read the sentence relating to overriding commission? Yes. What have they told in regard to overriding commission? Overriding commission, they are saying that Vijay is entitled to a commission of 10% on sales at invoice price. This is ordinary commission. 25% of any excess realized over invoice price. How much is the actual sales? Okay, 25% is surplus. Directly they are saying there is no total commission minusing and all like in the previous problem. We don't have to do that. Okay, can you tell me what is the actual sales amount? What is the total sales amount? 1 lakh rupees. What is the sales at SSP over here? What is SSP? Invoice price itself is SSP, right? Invoice price is itself the SSP. What is the sales at SSP? 93,750. You had asked him to sell at 93,750. Has he made any surplus? If yes, how much is the surplus he has made? 6,250 is the amount of surplus. Very good, guys. So overriding commission is 25% on surplus, and surplus is equal to actual sales minus sales at SSP, which is nothing but invoice price in this question. So actual sales is given as 1 lakh rupees. Actual sales is given as 1 lakh rupees. Sales at invoice price, we have already calculated it, but you can calculate it over here also again. 1,25,000 into 75%, because 75% was sold. So it is 6,000. 6,000 how much? 250. 6,250 surplus. So overriding commission is equal to 6,250 into 25%. Boys and girls, how much is it? 1,563. Yes, 62.5. It's okay. So what is the total commission? 9,375 plus 1,563 is 10,938 rupees. 10,938. Are you all comfortable with this? Did you follow this? Anyone has any questions relating to this? This is important. So please, if you have any questions, ask. Okay. So this was about a calculation of commission. Now, is there any loss? Have we lost any goods? Yes, 10% of the goods were lost of the value of 12,500. Sir, is this the value of abnormal loss? Is this, should we consider directly 12,500? No, sir. This is the invoice value of the goods lost. Should I consider it directly? No, I have to consider the cost, right? I have to calculate the cost. Shall we calculate the cost? Yes, the value of loss, abnormal loss calculation. First, cost of goods lost. Now you can do it two ways. One, do you know what is the total cost of goods that we had sent? How much is the total cost of goods sent? 1 lakh rupees. Is that correct? 1 lakh rupees. Into 10% goods is lost. That means how much is it? 10,000 rupees. 10,000 rupees. Another way of doing this is they have given the invoice price of the goods lost, right? Which is 12,500. What does this represent? This is 125%. How much is 100? You can calculate. 125% of cost is invoice value. So they have given the invoice value directly. You will get the same answer. But I think this is simpler and there is uniformity when we do it like this. So 1 lakh into 10% is 10,000. Now, we should add to this. What should we add to this? The consignor's expenses is to be added. Is there consignor's direct expense? Is there any direct expense from the consignor? Yes. How much? How much is the expense is incurred? 10,000 rupees. Into what should I do? 10% into 10%, which is equal to 1,000. So why sir 10%? Because 10% of the goods are lost, correct? No? So we have to add it. Is it in the go down or is it in the transit? Where was the goods lost? Delhi go down. It was lost in the go down. So should you apportion the consignee's expenses also? Yes, consignee's expense also is to be apportioned. Direct expenses. Has the consignee incurred any direct expenses? What have they mentioned over here? The expenses on they have mentioned is selling expenses they have mentioned. That means there is no direct expenses. So should we consider the consignee's expenses? The answer is no, sir. No consignee's expenses to be assigned. Only the consignor's expenses to be assigned. And how much is the total loss you get? 11,000 rupees. Sir, is it my loss completely? No, insurance company has given me some amount. How much is the insurance company paying? 9,000 rupees the insurance company is paying. That means what is lost to P&L account, transfer to P&L is 2,000 rupees. Understood this? Did you understand this valuation of loss? We have to consider cost. What is given in the question is the invoice value of the loss. That is not to be considered. The cost is to be considered. Okay, I think that's all, no? Should I discuss anything else in this problem? No. We have done, stock valuation, correct, stock. Can you tell me, yes, 10% will be given. Can you tell me what is the percentage of stock? Percentage of stock, you tell me. Everyone, I want everyone to answer this question. Okay. What percentage goods were sent? 100% was sent, correct? No? 100% was sent. How much was sold out of the 100%? How much percentage was sold? 75%. So does it mean that 25% is still in the Delhi Godown? Is that what we want to say now? 25% is left, sir. No, sir. Have we lost something? Have we lost something? Yes. How much did we lose? 10%. So then what is the value of stock still in the godown? What is the value of stock still in the godown? I mean percentage I'm telling you. 15%. So 100 minus 75 minus 10. You will get 15%. So 15% is the percentage of total goods still lying in the godown. So let's value the working note. Number is what? Working note 3, is it? Valuation of stock. Sir, stock is to be valued at invoice price or cost price. What do you think we have to value? we have to value it. In consignment, what did we discuss? The consignor records stock at what price? What does he refer to and what does he record? The consignor, what document does he record? Look at pro forma invoice. No, account sales. He looks at account sales. In the account sales, what will be mentioned? Invoice price will be mentioned. So we have to first value it at invoice price, and then we have to calculate the inventory reserve, which is the loading amount, and we have to write it on the debit side. How can you forget this? So valuation of stock. Minus, what should be minus? 10%. What is 10%? Goods lost. Many of us forget to minus this. Don't do it. Goods lost. So this is how much percentage? 15 percentage. Okay, invoice price of stock. What is the total invoice price of the goods sent on consignment? 1,25,000 into 15%, 18,750. Should we add something to this? Yes. What should we add to this? Consignor's expenses. How much is the consignor's expenses? Total consignor's expenses 10,000 into 15%, 1,500. Should I add consignee's expenses? Is there any consignee's direct expenses? No, no consignee's direct expense. So not to be added. So what is the value of stock? 20,250. 20,250 is the value of stock. Okay. And what about the loading inventory reserve? How much is the total loading on goods? Total loading was how much? 25,000 was the total loading. Into, you can do it in the account only. You write the loading initially, right? Goods sent on consignment, you write, you will get it there. 3,750 is the inventory reserve. I'll quickly draw up the consignment account. Just help me with the numbers quick. Okay, real quick. 2 goods sent on consignment. What is the invoice price of the goods sent on consignment? 1,25,000 is the goods sent on consignment. Can you tell me what is the loading which is to be written on the credit side? 25,000 rupees is the loading amount. Next, what do I need? What do I have to record? Expenses incurred by the consignor. How much is the expense incurred by the consignor? 10,000 rupees. What is the expenses incurred by the consignee? What is the name of the consignee? Vijay. What is his commission? What is Vijay's commission? We have calculated it, 10,938. What else should I record? Abnormal loss by, okay, before that, sales. What is sales amount? Sales 1 lakh, right? Sales is 1 lakh. And what is the abnormal loss amount by P&L account? 2,000 rupees. By insurance company, how much is the insurance company paying? 9,000 rupees. Are you all clear on this? Yes. Then what else should I write? Inventory. How much is the inventory with Vijay? 20,250. On the other side, we have to write loading. So for this, what you can do is inventory reserve. Directly you can take this. This was the total, amount of loading. So 25,000 into total loading on the goods was 25,000. In that 15% is still left. So 25,000 into 15% is 3,750. Could you please tell me what is the profit or loss? The total is how much? What is the total? The total is 1,57,688. Is that correct? And the loading amount is, the profit or loss amount it is 1,438 is loss. I'll quickly draw Vijay's account also just for our reference quickly. Vijay's account now, what and all things will appear over here? I'm doing the homework problem in class. How shameless. To consignment, this is sales. How much is sales? 1 lakh. Expenses by consignment on the credit side, 8,000 he has spent. By consignment, his commission 10,938. Right? Have they mentioned anything about the balance? What have they mentioned about the balance? Is he paying it or anything? Remitted the balance in favor of, so he's paying it. So by cash or bank, how much is that amount? 81,062. Did you all follow this? Hey, this was working note 3. No, this was working note 4. Very easy question, just that you have to practice a couple of times. You will be comfortable with this. Okay, it has been asked in the latest exam, so I'm not sure if it's so important for your exams. Shall we go to the next chapter? Yes, everything was as percentage. Sale of goods on approval or written basis is what I'm going to discuss. Quick, small chapter it is. We will finish it off as soon as possible. Okay, do I have your attention, guys? If you want to spend a minute on just breathing, you can do it. I'll start at 12:30. 12:30. 2 minutes break. Quick. Just breathe. Okay, hello. Shall we continue? Yes. So this is a very small chapter, but it's been coming for exams constantly. Okay. Here, you just have to focus on some journal entries and some small concepts. You can finish this if you understand the class discussion. You can solve these problems very easily. Okay. Now we should begin. Okay. Before I begin, someone asked me, how many marks question? Okay, this will come for 4 to 5 marks, 5 marks generally. Can be expected from this. I mean, it's come a couple of times. Consistently, it's been coming. 5. Small question, but it keeps coming. Okay, now, yes, this is in your pocket again. That's correct. Let's start with sale of goods on approval basis. Now, what do you mean by Adarsh asks, sir, can we do working note in our own method? Yes, you can. You don't, for consignment specifically, you can do your working notes on your own. It's okay. There is no standard format as such because you can do the cost apportionment and then the direct expenses and all that can be apportioned. You can do it on your own, no problem. Okay, coming back to this. Now, sale of goods on approval basis. I think you heard this term in Sale of Goods Act, right? Sale of Goods Act, you have come across this concept uh, about it. Okay, today it was done, is it? It was done today. About this concept. Okay, that's wonderful. That's a nice coincidence. So here, yes. What do you mean by this? Okay, losses said we did this in accounts. Okay. So here, what is this concept about? What is this about? What do you mean by sending or selling goods on approval basis or written basis? It's a very simple concept. Yeah. In many businesses, what happens is because of the nature of the business or nature of the products that we are selling, we might have to send the goods to the customer and give him an option of either to buy those goods upfront. I mean, if he likes it, he can say, okay, he can keep it. Or I just give him time to approve those goods. If he will look at the goods, he will open the gunny bags, he'll look at the goods, and if he likes the goods, he will keep it. If he doesn't like the goods, he has an option to return. It's a privilege. It's a privilege. It's a benefit given to whom? It's a benefit given to the customer by the seller. By the seller gives the to the buyer. To the buyer, the seller is giving this privilege. Now, for this these kind of sales, generally, when do we consider it as sale complete? When is a sale complete? When is a sale complete? How many conditions are there? There are 3 conditions. Out of those 3 conditions, if any one condition gets satisfied, we consider the sale as complete. So can you tell me what are the 3 conditions you're talking about, sir? Number 1 is when the goods are accepted. When the goods are accepted. That is approved. He's liking the goods, he's keeping those goods, that is approval. So that is when a sale is complete. What is the second example? So what is the second situation? When the time period given to him lapses for approval or for rejection lapses. Now here, that is, you will not give forever time for him to accept those goods or reject those goods. It will be time bound. There will be a limitation of time. 3 months, 2 months, 4 months, 5 months. So you will give that when you're sending the goods and you're telling him that, boss, you have to accept, you have to give me an approval or you have to reject the goods within a limited time. It is time bound. So that is time period for approval. If that lapses, then also sale is complete. What is the third one? What is the third point we look at? When he is adopting the goods. Adoption of goods, when he is adopting the goods or when he is taking any action to adopt those goods. Now, what do you mean by this? Can you give me some examples? Pledging the goods, using the goods, selling those goods. These are actions, which represent that that person has actually accepted those goods, right? So consuming those goods, correct. So all these are actions which tell you that he has accepted those goods. So when he takes any of these three actions, or when any of these three conditions, one of these conditions are fulfilled, any one is fulfilled, we consider it as sale is complete. So what is real life example? Real life example is some raw materials and all we purchase. When raw materials are purchased, for example, let us say you are a hotel guy. You run a hotel. Okay, you run a hotel. Now in hotel, you have seen these boxes, right? You see those containers, packaging containers. So you buy those containers. You take those containers. The seller is telling you that this is the new type of container. It's a new quality of container. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't like it, you can return it. Now here, these container, when you're getting the container, you might use the containers. You might use these containers and give it to your customers. Now, in such cases, you're taking those goods, you're adopting those goods, you're accepting those goods. Yes or no? You might not tell your seller that you have accepted the goods, but you're using those containers to sell your food items and you're packing the food item and that you've adopted those goods. You have taken those goods. It's implied that you have approved these goods. You don't have to mention it specifically to the seller because you're using those goods. So it is adoption of goods. I hope you have followed this. So in these three cases, we considered that the sale is complete. Now, in accounting, how do we treat this? Accounting for such transactions. Approval or written basis. There are three types of, we categorize this on the basis of businesses. Okay, what kind of businesses, how often do they do, it is depending on the frequency of the transactions that the business takes up. Such transactions on the basis of the frequency that they take up. So we categorize the businesses into three types. How many types, guys? Three types. First one, those businesses which undertake the sale of goods on approval basis transaction very casually. Casually means occasionally. Okay, that is once in a while, only elite customers. I don't give this privilege to all my customers. I give this privilege only to some of my customers. So how do you decide what is occasionally, what is casually? It's left to the business how they want to account for it. Okay. But this is generally accounted for by those businesses which undertake the sale of goods on written basis transactions very casually. That means they don't give this privilege to the customer. They don't tell the customer that you have an option to either accept or reject the goods. Often they don't tell this. They tell this only to their elite customers, very big customers, very important customers. Only to them we tell, or to a new customer, or for some new product we have launched. Very rarely we give this option or privilege to our customers. We don't do it often. So this is casually or occasionally we do it. The second type of elite means, what do you mean by elite? Important, significant, big customer. Second one is when we do it frequently. Frequently means, once in a week, twice in a week, 30 to 40% of the sales transactions happen in this way only, frequently. It's around 40, 50. Again, there is no parameter to measure what is frequently. I told you that the business can decide this on its own, but for our understanding purposes, we categorize it into three. The second one is what? When the business has sent the goods on approval basis frequently. And the third one is when the business keeps sending these goods numerously. Many. That is 90% to 95% of my sales are always on approval basis. Something like that. Big chunk of sales. Almost all the time. All my goods are sold on approval basis. There are some businesses which do this, especially in the case of those raw materials and all that. Some specific raw materials which the nature of which might be different and all that, they sell it on approval basis itself. Or precious items like diamonds, gems and all that, you might look at the quality, you might sell it first and then you use it specifically. Yes. So it depends on different kind of raw materials and businesses. I generally give you that sunflower example. One of my friends has a sunflower factory. He produces the sunflower wax in his factory. So sunflower wax, now when they purchase, how do they produce the sunflower wax? I'll tell you. They buy processed sunflower. Okay, they buy processed sunflower which has been processed once already. So it's already delicate. That sunflower is already delicate. It's gone through processing once. They want that sunflower in a particular processed condition and they process it again. The second time they process. In my friend's factory, they process it again, second or third time they process sometimes. And they remove whatever leftover residual wax is there, whatever content is there inside that sunflower, the residual wax, they extract it. And that wax is very, very much in demand right now. It is used for cosmetic products. It is used for coloring of the vegetables and fruits, preservation of the fruits and vegetables. So it has a lot many uses like this. So now these guys are very careful about the sunflowers that they buy. That sunflower I told you, that processed sunflower what they buy, they are very careful about it. Why are they very careful about it? Because they want that sunflower in a particular condition because it's already processed. So when it is processed for the first time, the original user must have processed it in a certain way. It must be in a specific condition. Only then it is useful for us to remove that wax. Otherwise, it is useless for us. So that is why they always, all their suppliers of such raw materials are there, they always supply it on approval basis. They always supply it on approval basis because these guys my friends get that sunflower, they open the gunny bag, they check each and every gunny bag that they have bought and see the quality of the sunflower. They might look at this some samples, they might look at the gunny bag and they'll say, okay, this is generally one gunny bag is from one process itself. So if one sunflower is in the right condition, all the sunflower in that lot is in the right condition. That is what they consider. So every time they have to approve. So for the raw material supplier, the sunflower supplier, the one who's supplying it, he has to supply these processed sunflower on approval basis only. No one is going to buy it prima facie just like this without looking at it. You have to look at that condition. Otherwise, it's useless. If it is not in that specific condition we need it in, it is useless. So that is why they will look at each and every gunny bag and then buy it. They will approve it. So that is why if they use it, it's approved. Correct. That is what I told you. Adoption of goods. So I hope you understood this. So in such businesses, now numerously, that is, 95%, 99%, or probably 100% of our sales is on approval basis only. No one buys such things without giving an option. You have to give them an option to look at the goods, and only then they will consider if they are buying it or not. So this is how we have. How many categories do we have? Three categories we have: casually, frequently, and numerously. Is everyone comfortable with this? Yes. So in the afternoon today, we will complete this, and we will start with a new chapter, which is average due date. Okay. I'm going to start with average due date in the afternoon. Tomorrow we're going to do account current. I will tell you the sequence of how am I going to do. Tomorrow account current, then once account current is done, bills of exchange, then I will do company accounts. Company accounts. So please have this series in your mind because you have to study income, right? Okay. Now, casually, frequently, and numerously. Let's talk about the accounting part. How do we account for it, sir? So when you're sending once in a while, when you're sending casually the goods, no, we don't maintain separate books, separate records. We don't maintain. We treat it as sales. When we're sending the goods only, we're treating it as sales. It's not at approved, but we treat it as actual sales when we are sending the goods. Are you all following this? So we are treating it as actual sales. But have you actually legally sold the goods? The answer is no. You've not sold the goods yet. But we pass an entry for sales. Because again, how to write this entry otherwise? We have to maintain some new account, new ledger, new day book, new this, new that. So instead of doing all that, what we do is we treat it as actual sales. I'll tell you the journal entries and all that, but it is straightforward. If you're sending it frequently, we maintain one day book. Day book means what? Do you remember what is day book? What is day book? Subsidiary book. Okay, we maintain one day book, subsidiary book, but this is memorandum day book. What do you mean by memorandum? Memorandum means it's separate. It's separate. It is not part of our books of accounts. It is not part of our regular books of accounts. These are separate, memorandum book. It is not a regular account. It is not like the purchase book. It is not like the sales book. This day book we will call it as sale or written or goods sent on sale or written day book. We will simply call it as sale or written day book. So this is one register, one additional register that we maintain just to record those goods which have been sent on approval basis. Just to record those goods which have been sent on that option basis to approve or written basis. So that is sale or written day book. Sir, is this part of our regular books of accounts? Will this come in the regular books of account? Shall we post these entries to the ledgers like we do from the purchase book? We post entries to the purchasers, we post entries to the sales, party accounts. Do we post to the party accounts? Do we do posting and all that relating to this? No, sir. We don't do it. It is just like the stock register. For inventories, we maintain something called a stock register. So in stock register also, it is just keeping a tab. It is just keeping a control of what stock we have. Stock sheets we will draw. So that is just one additional statement, one additional book. It has nothing to do with my regular books of accounts. So please remember, this is just a memorandum book. It is not to be recorded. The entries are not recorded in the regular books of accounts. Comfortable or not? Are you all following so much? Yes. Now the third type. What is the third type? When the goods are sent numerously. When the goods are sent numerously. When the goods are sent numerously, now you need to have a parallel set of books. What we do is we have parallel set of books of accounts for these type of transactions. Memorandum books we will have. Now this memorandum books will be comprehensive ledger account, day book and all that you will maintain. So what you will maintain is one day book and two ledger accounts will be maintained. Both of these are memorandum. Okay. Here, what we do is, these are memorandum books. Please pay attention. These are memorandum books. Are these regular books of accounts? The answer is no. These are not regular books of accounts. These are memorandum books, separate from our regular books. It is separate. Here you have two things. One is the day book, which is the original books of entry for such transactions. This is original books of entry for such transactions. And two ledger accounts, which is used for posting those transactions. Now again, these are memorandum books. Is it part of my regular books of accounts? The answer is no. Will it appear in the balance sheet, the balance of these accounts? Will it appear in the balance sheet? No. Will it appear in the trial balance? No. Will it appear in the profit and loss account? No. Will it appear in the sales account, purchase account? No. Anywhere. Nowhere it will appear. This is parallel set. This is a different world. This is a different world. This is just for sale or written basis. Just for control purposes only, sale or written basis, only for control purposes they maintain these ledger accounts and these books. Are you understanding this? Yes or no? You are understanding this. Okay. So how many types do we have? How many types do we have? Three types, three set of businesses we categorize. First one is when it is casually sent. What do we do when it is casually sent? We pass normal sale entries when the goods are being sent casually or occasionally. Second one, when the goods are sent on sale or written basis, frequently. When we are sending it frequently, what do we maintain? One book, one register we maintain, that is all. What is that register known as? Sale or written day book. We maintain one book. And when the goods are sent numerously, what do? We maintain a register, a day book, original books of entry, which is day book. The format is same like this only. It will be the same. It's the same day book, okay? These both are same. But in addition to this, we will also maintain two memorandum ledger accounts. Two memorandum ledger accounts to get better control, because we are sending so many goods on sale or written basis. So to get better control, we will have two memorandum ledgers also. So this is how the goods, the accounting for these sale of goods on approval basis is maintained. Now I will record, I have some time, so I will discuss when the goods are sent casually. When the goods are sent casually. Have you understood the concept of sending the goods on approval basis, everyone? What is this? I am sending the goods on approval basis. That means, let us say I am a seller. I am sending the goods to my customer and I am telling my customers that if you like it, you can keep it. If you don't like it, you can return it. You can give it back to me. So that is what I am giving. I am giving an option to my customers, to my buyers. Now, when the goods are sent casually, that is once in a while, once in a blue moon, you are sending goods on approval basis. So when we do this, we treat it as normal sales, ordinary sales. What do we treat it as? Ordinary sales. So can you tell me what is the entry when goods are sent? What is the journal entry when the goods are sent? What is the sale entry? The sale entry is he paying cash? Should I say cash account debit to sales account? Is he going to pay me cash? No, sir. He's not going to pay you cash. Is he? No. Why would he pay cash? You're sending it on option basis, approval basis. So he's not going to pay you cash. So the entry is customer account or debtor account debit to sales account. Customer account debit to sales account. Are you all comfortable with this? Yes. When the goods are approved, what is the entry I should pass? He approves the goods, or he adopts the goods, or the time lapses. That is when the sale is complete, basically we're talking. What is the journal entry we should pass? Should we pass a journal entry? The sale is complete now. Should I pass a sale entry for this? The answer is no. Why are you saying no, sir? Because you have already passed the entry, no? You already passed the sale entry, so no entry is to be passed when the goods are approved because you already recorded it as sale. Sir, what if the goods are rejected? Should you pass any entry when the goods are rejected? Yes, sir. What is the journal entry we have to pass when the goods are rejected? We have to say, we have to just reverse it. This entry is to be reversed. It is not your income, so reduce your income, debit sales account, reducing your income and then credit the customer's account. Reduce your asset because you said we have a right to receive the money, you actually don't have now because he's not approved the goods. So just reverse that entry and you say sales account debit to customer's account. So can you say sales return? Can you treat this as sales return? Technically, it is not correct. Okay, although it does the same thing, effect in the trading account will be the same. Instead of directly minusing from sales, you are minusing it in the trading account. But why am I saying technically it's not correct? Because, sir, is this sale? Is this actually a sale? No, right? The sale was not complete at all. Sale was not made at all. So if the sale is made, then returns will happen. Here you have not sold the goods at all. So how can you tell me that it is sales return? Sales return is when goods are sold and then the goods are returned. Here the sale was not complete at all. So you can't call this as sales return. So that's why directly debit sales account itself. Are you all following this discussion? Yes. Okay. No, Suraj. Generally, no. Then it depends on the business. Next, when the goods are rejected, we are done with this. At the end of the year, now see, at the end of the year, there are some sales, there are some goods which you sent on approval basis, which have not been approved yet. Which have not been approved yet. Can you tell me right on the part of the seller to show it as on 30 March, some goods which have been sent on approval basis, but is it okay? So what was I saying? 31st March on the last day, we have sent some goods on approval basis. We have sent some goods on approval basis. It is not at. My voice is breaking. We'll do one thing. We'll discuss this in the afternoon. Okay. So we'll discuss this in the afternoon. Bye.
Thank you, sir, for the session. Students, again, we'll meet at 2 p.m. for the continuation of the session. So see you at 2 p.m.